Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. It's actually a fun, reflective part of the year. And I've talked about culture with the Texas football program before. For those who are unfamiliar, I made the Texas has a culture problem and Texas still has a culture problem videos in previous seasons. And I'm here to tell you why they how they fixed it and why they fixed their culture problem because Texas football is rolling. This is a strong football program, a program that I'm proud of, a program that is heading into the SEC with all sorts of momentum. Are things perfect, crystal clear? Absolutely not. That's college football, that's sports. But with the strong culture that they've established, I feel as confident as I've ever felt as a Texas fan, and not just validation from winning on the field, but certain elements that we've seen change over the last couple of years under Steve Sarkisian. So I'm here to just talk about that and break that down because I think it's really, really dope and I think a good time now to reflect on all of that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody that's rocked with us over the years, especially when we were down bad. But now that we are, here and looking to not just be a one hit wonder in college football, but to be one of the next juggernauts moving forward. Welcome to the channel if you are unfamiliar. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our brand new sponsor, Fanatic Perspective, a really dope new company called Autograph. Welcome, Autograph. It is a free app for fans where you are rewarded for your fandom and your loyalty day to day, absorbing content about your favorite team. What do I mean by that, Steve? Hey, whatever platform you're on, reading articles, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, you can do it through the Autograph app. Go ahead and download that. It's available in the Apple Store for download, only mobile right now. But download that. Use the code Fanatic24. That's how you get on the platform. It is invite only. But cool thing about the platform, which is co-founded by Tom Brady. Yes, that Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. Go on that app. You will be rewarded for reading, watching, and listening to all of your favorite Texas content. They just launched the Texas platform. Here's the coolest thing about it. What do I mean by reward? You have loyalty points. Everything you do on that app, you get loyalty points for. You're rewarded for your fandom. What does that mean on the greater side, right? Hey, access to merch, access to tickets, access to giveaways. They launched this app for Tom Brady's alma mater, Michigan. They ran Michigan through a kind of the first test on Autograph, and fans that were at the highest tier of loyalty were able to win tickets to the Rose Bowl. Were able to win, custom autograph signed jerseys and all sorts of merch and giveaways. And as the app grows, you get access to more of those things and just unbelievable stuff going on that Tom Brady has put together. I'm excited to be promoting it. I'm excited to be partnered with Autograph. Go download that today. Use the Fanatic 24 code. It's a free app. If you got an iPhone, go to the Apple Store, download Autograph, hit Fanatic 24, and keep watching and listening and reading all of the Texas content you used to. Rob Babers, Inside Texas, On Three, Bobby Burton, everybody's over there. It's on the app, so check it out. Shout out to Autograph. Guys, as I look back and reflect, off the get off the bus bow video and everything that kind of melted down during the 2021 season with, on the bus, Iowa State, we know the whole story. 2022, 8-5 season. And I want to start there because there's not one single catalyst for how Texas fixed the culture problem, but we can begin with guys like, and this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments on how we've been able to fix this. But in my opinion, I would start here. Guys like Bijan Robinson and Roshan Johnson that were on the previous team that set the tone for real leadership, that were proxies of the coaching staff that really understood not just on the field, but off the field, really establishing those habits and really establishing a vibe of really family and what it means to love Texas, what it means to bleed burnt orange and a standard of excellence. I married those two and what they did because I feel like that push and how good humans they were. You look at Bijan and Roshan and how much they came back around the team, how much time they spent with the team, even as they began their NFL careers with the Atlanta Falcons and the Chicago Bears. To me, that started to signal things are turning around. We've had some great guys come throughout this program over the past few years. Don't get me wrong. But for Sark and the credibility and who guys follow, who guys listen to, who guys look up to, who the recruits look up to, I'm starting there with what Bijan and Roshan did, and I cannot thank those brothers enough for their commitment to the University of Texas. The other mechanism I want to say before we get to the 2023 season is the standard of excellence of UT athletics. And I've said this before in previous basketball videos, the positive pressure of the women's sports across the board killing it, people winning natties across the board, all the other men's sports. And people have made fun of Texas about, oh, they dope in Olympic sports, but what do they do and blah blah blah. There's a standard there at the school, and it's not just an academic standard that people have to look up to, but there was a standard of excellence, a standard of winning. And I feel as though this football program has finally lifted up to that. Even some of the other big sports, basketball just went to the Elite Eight last year. Baseball's had so much success under Coach Pierce. You look at what Vic's doing with the women and what he's done in a short period of time and the success that they've had. And not only that, but the stars. Look at the ladies volleyball team producing legitimate stars and excellence. At some point, Sark and this football team had to adhere to this positive pressure. And guys like Bijan Robinson, guys like Roshan Johnson carrying that, I want to say and the reason why I'm saying it's not a set catalyst for what we saw this past season, because I've said if you want to have any type of culture, you want to have a winning culture. Obviously, that's what Texas put together, going 12-1 in the regular season and making the college football playoff, winning the Big 12 on their way out, going on that revenge tour, living up to the expectations for once, actually having high expectations, having all of these goals that they wanted to achieve and knocking those goals out the park, both individual and team. But where does that all begin? Was there one particular catalyst of a player? No. And that's the beauty of it. It's not like we had some bona fide, unreal Heisman Trophy winning one player that just carried everything or, just better than everybody else and going to be the number one pick. That's not the case here. This was a team effort, a staff effort, an organizational effort, a university effort. And that spells out where the culture comes in. I start with the continuity that Steve Sarkisian has had on this coaching staff up through last season. That matters. And continuity isn't always the best thing if the continuity is just mediocrity, but they were building it the right way. They started with, hey, from once at Texas, let's build roster-wise inside out through the trenches, increasing those numbers on the offensive line, increasing those numbers on the defensive line, increasing the level of physicality within our program. I think we all saw that on the field this past year, on both sides of the ball. And with the injuries and things that took place, the adversity that hit. We had a quarterback miss a couple games. Another kid step up and lead us those 2 weeks before Quinn Ewers came back. We lost our star-studded running back that replaced Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Brooks this year, and we kept it moving with Jaden Blue and C.J. Baxter and Keelan Robinson and that whole crew. But it's the culture that had been fixed, and I think continuity is a big piece of it. I also believe and I'm going to say this too, the accountability of the staff, and this is where I really give credit to Steve Sarkisian. Players don't just have to develop and get better, so do coaches. And I really think that Sark is developing, and it's a good thing that he's a work in progress. It's a good thing that he's continuing to get better and ascend. Sark in 2023 was undoubtedly a better football coach across the board than he was in 2021, than he was in 2022. There were certain things that he just improved upon. Better feel for the game. Starting to understand that, hey, I'm not just here to be the cool play caller and set everything during the week, but then I kind of get into tunnel vision on the sidelines. Things that I've accused him of. I think he did a better job of connecting with his team. I think you saw Sark understand this in the preseason as he promoted the Texas team, as he talked about whether it was on the podcast with Ryan Clark and those boys, or the car wash tour you do at ESPN. You could see him brimming with that confidence of, yeah, this team is not just built in my image, but this is my team. This is the team I put together. Which leads me to the next thing. One of the biggest issues we've had internally within the Texas football program is factions. Because of the lack of continuity and people meddling all over the program, we've had folks, when it was the Tom Herman era especially, we had the Charlie Strong guys and whatever remnants of the Mac Brown guys and the Herman guys. And it always felt like people were in factions. I saw this during the Charlie Strong era as well, between Mac guys and Charlie guys. And yes, when coaches come and take over a program that was previously unsuccessful, you're looking to weed out certain things. You are looking to build the program in your image, like I just mentioned with Sark. But Sark and his staff took a different approach, especially after 2021. He said, hey, after we went 5-7, if you're here, if you come back and you're a part of this program, you're a Texas guy. There's no more Herman people. There's no more Charlie people. There's no Sark people. It's just Texas people. And I think you saw that, shout out to my boy Tope Amade back in 2021, playing over all these young guys. He's 6-year senior, because they just said, hey, anybody here that is willing to buy in, anybody that wants to improve as a football player, that's the type of culture we want to set. That's how we want to practice every single day. That's what the example we want to set for our young guys coming into this program. Because that ultimately leads us, the byproduct will be championships. The byproduct will be All-Americans and all-conference and all those other things. But we got to start somewhere. And if I got to work with some older guys that are more serious to set the tone, so be it. It started with guys like Tope and them back in 2021. Christian Jones. So many other coaches and programs would have said, that guy's been here since 2018, 2019. Let's go with a younger tackle that we recruited. No, we want to embrace it. We found a home for him at right tackle. That kid's killing it now at the Senior Bowl. Going to be drafted. And it's not just coaching up people to be stars. It was also, hey, understanding roles. People were hating on guys like Michael Taft and Jet Bush, but those are guys just as much as the high tier Quinn Ewers and Xavier Worthies and Jatavian Sanders that got developed, that are being developed. They also develop guys that say, hey, Jet Bush can give me a role here. He can give me 20, 25 snaps here and be super effective. Michael Taft can be my comms and my secondary and be effective. And we're developing and we're buying it. So this coaching staff has not discriminated against people that are older. They have not discriminated against people that weren't the highest ranked recruit. They have not discriminated against people that were from the previous coaching staff. Or if you weren't the position coach recruiting the player, they don't care. They've embraced those kids. They've embraced the coaching of it. And that is an attractive feature to the younger players, the guys that we've recruited, especially my South Dallas guys, all those guys that are high school state champions that came in here with a championship mentality. And now you're starting to see, look how many early enrollees have come into our program. And you're starting to see freshmen contributing earlier, because there's a culture of development and learning. if the coach is always looking to improve, I see Kyle Flood going to coaching clinics, learning and trying to see what he can get the latest and greatest from the NFL or latest and greatest from high school coaches association. Then why shouldn't I be doing that as a player? And it starts to set a standard moving forward. Like I said, there's not one catalyst with all of this. Just like there wasn't one catalyst that caused Texas culture to be disaster. Because people like to say, "Oh, Texas out of whack because yeah, we had alignment issues," but they would always point to what? The boosters. The boosters like to interfere. The boosters, blah blah blah. You know who else has helped fix this culture? The boosters. Allow me to explain. NIL is no secret, and I'm not veering from this. It's not a secret that within 2 years of NIL being legalized, Texas made the college football playoff, the 14 football playoff, at the end of this college football era. It's now a new one starting in 2024 in the 12 team, super team, NIL, transfer portal area. All those things are now in effect. And we got the video game coming. So that's 5 things. But the boosters have actually put together a very organized collective and coalition of making sure that these players are being rewarded, that these players are compensated fairly, and we have a very good, all under compliance NIL program where, yes, the boosters are heavily involved more than ever, but it's also in lockstep with the program to make sure that we are sustaining and look, it is a recruiting mechanism. People want to be, this is America. Let's not get it twisted. But your culture has to be strong enough. You can't just have a bunch of mercenaries come in that are the creme de la creme and they don't click, they don't gel. There still has to be expectations. We've had guys coming here, recruits or through the portal, that have sacrificed for the greater good and to help us win, that didn't have to be here. Or guys that came here and they played a certain role and helped us. So, and I'm bringing up the boosters because it's so easy to be negative and say they meddle and they do all these things, but then when they are also one of the big reasons for our program to make this turnaround, and the community interactions they set up, the player accessibility that they've set up, all these wonderful things that they've helped coordinate in conjunction with players as well as the players' families, we have to give the boosters their flowers in this regard. So yes, that has helped Texas culture. Now, we don't want to, obviously where it becomes, are they influencing the coach to make a decision? Are they, you don't want a player to have to play because he's making a certain amount of NIL money. I get that. But for now, Texas seems to have that organized, and I think it's because of the stability of the coaching staff, the excellence of the University of Texas program, bringing in the right guys, setting a culture that there's no more factions. It's just Texas guys and guys that want to win, guys that want to develop, and guys that want to go to the league. Voila, right? And now you're a serious football program and a program that is going to be a top 10, top 5 team going in a loaded year. But Texas is going to be the expectations will be high for Texas as anybody, and it's justified. And I don't have a pit in my stomach for the first time as a fan saying that. I don't. I'm so proud of Steve Sarkisian, Christo Conti, everybody that has contributed to this football program. Hell, even the coverage we have, all of people like myself on YouTube, the paid sites on YouTube that continue to promote Texas and share information on the brand and keep people interested, keep people locked in. It's been a great thing. So if I was going to speak on things when they were down, I definitely got to speak on things when they up. And Texas has definitely fixed their culture problems. And I'm excited for our future in the SEC. I'm excited for this next season coming up with guys that are, we've now seen, hey, we're back to that draft process. We got so many young guys, like Worthy and Sanders and Sweat and Byron Murphy. Can't wait to see what NFL teams they end up on. And that's because they were developed here at the University of Texas. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. What are some of the key elements that have helped fix and repair this culture at Texas? If there's anything I missed, if there's anything you disagree with, let me know. But also hit that subscribe button, everything else. And don't forget about the new sponsors. Hit up this app, Autograph, co-founded by Tom Brady. Yes, that Super Bowl winning, 7-time Super Bowl winning Tom Brady. Autograph app in the Apple Store. It's free. Use the Fanatic 24 promo code to get access and get rewarded for consuming all the content you would already consume as a Texas fan. The app is only going to get bigger and better. The prizes and the giveaways and the access to tickets. We have March Madness things that are going to be coming up. Yes, you'll have access to tickets to go to March Madness and check out some of the best games coming back in March, right? So shout out to Autograph. Super excited to be partnered up with the awesome up and coming company. Guys, remember, horns always up. Hook 'em.